Hi guys, this is going to a PLL talk. Season 4, episode 22, cover for me. Honestly, I don't think this episode was as good as the last ones that we've been, getting. Let me move closer. Is that better? Can you see me? I don't know why I was so far away from my desk. It was interesting, but I don't think we got as much information. So we see, Spencer's apparently went through a rehab program or a detox program. And she's flashing back to the night Allie disappeared. We can't say Allie died anymore because she didn't. Then we see Aria. She's in Syracuse. And I don't know. The minute that I saw her, I thought, is she hiding out somewhere? Like, she's sketch. And secondly, she's just jumping in the bed with random strangers. And the promiscuity and all that stuff is very connected to personality disorder or borderline personality disorder. A lot of the things that she does are direct signs of that. I used to read a lot about mental illness. And throughout this show, I've noticed so many things about her that connect to mental illness. Maybe they don't make it that obvious, but I have seen it from the beginning before I even suspected her of anything, so I don't know. Then Emily, tells Ezra off, which I thought was fabulous, because usually Emily is just like, whatever, and he honestly looked hurt, and I didn't think like an A character would look hurt by that. They would just kind of have a face on, but he seemed very hurt by it. So let's see. The police are trying to figure out who put that letter of Allie's alive in the address. They think it's Hanna. We know that it's not. Sorry, I have all my notes here. Then Aria talks about her dad, and she says he's an art history professor. Didn't he say before that he was an English teacher? Or I read on another theories page that they haven't said what he does, but I thought he was an English teacher, and that's how he got him into Hollis, because he had connections, but maybe it was just because he was a professor. So correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Mr. Montgomery was an English teacher. I don't know if she was saying that just to throw the kid off. Then we see the dirt in Spencer's bed was creepy. My question was, during that period of time you saw Aria there and you saw Hanna, where do we see Hanna at that point? I remember they showed a picture of Hanna, but they didn't show where Emily was at that time, and I don't know, I've been starting to get a little suspicious of Emily and Hanna, and I don't know. There was no other flashback with Emily during that time period of the episode, so I thought to myself, did she put that there? I don't know. Travis and Hanna, he asked her out at a date. Should we trust him? I don't know. He's so random. Then the kid that's trying to help Spencer, he's kind of like her sponsor, I guess. She says, she's having nightmares or hallucinations, and he says it could be things that she's forgotten, things she's repressed, or things she has to deal with, which I thought was probably the most interesting part of the whole episode, that whole line. Detective Holbrook is sketchy. He started talking about Hanna, about how I'm trying to get her to break, and they're kissing, and then I don't know, I feel like he's trying to cozy up to her, kind of like another Ezra. Mrs. D comes to the Hastings house. She makes a comment about fresh sheets to her. Made us all think that she has something to do with the dirt in the bed. I think they're just throwing this out there as a red herring for us. I've always thought something of Mrs. D. Remember when they first started showing Mrs. De Laurentiis? She had a really sharp tongue. She was like Allie, just an older woman. She's kind of catty. Says stuff about, remember she said something about, she lost a lot of weight, and she said something about it. Then they went to lunch, and she gave all the dresses that Allie had picked out for them. And then we remember during that fashion show, that whole thing happened, and the Wicked Witch is dead, and across the screen it had like her Allie with devil ears and this whole thing. And I thought it was funny because it was like Mrs. De Laurentiis was involved with that, as was Noel Kahn, but I've always been suspicious of her. I've always thought Mrs. De Laurentiis has been the one that has the twin. We saw the twins back and forth. I've always seemed to think that Mrs. De Laurentiis is the Kavanaugh, Toby and Jenna's, well, Toby's, wait, that would be his dad, right? I've always thought that the C. Kavanaugh was Mrs. De Laurentiis' twin. Remember when that came up, the C. Kavanaugh? I've always thought Mrs. De Laurentiis or one of the other mothers was her twin, or somehow the connection was there. I still do. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll be right with that. Hannah's texting during her date. Mrs. D knows, so getting back at her. Mona almost hits Emily, and then she tells her some things that Ezra was asking her questions about the girls, and then if she helped him, then she wouldn't have all of her stuff exposed. And you also see Ezra fixing up the apartment, and Aria goes there to talk to him. That's right before that. They started helping each other back when Mona was driving Jenna's car. Remember that? That's what she said. So she was kind of helping him, and Ezra had her get it close to Mike to get closer to Aria to spy on her, which is so crazy. Aria tells Ezra he needs to leave. Not a leave of absence, but to leave town. And I think that's her way of threatening him to go to the principal about everything that's been going on. Mona said someone stole the game from her. Ezra thinks he knows who it is, and then he ends up saying that it's Mrs. De Laurentiis. I think that the perfect person to steal the game from Mona, it really was Moran, and I think a lot of us agree, right? They say goodbye, and he gives her a copy of the manuscript of the book. The girls are trying to figure out who left that tip. Hanna sees the letter that Paige leaves Emily, and she recognized the handwriting. She doesn't immediately say that she knows that she wrote the letter, but she does pull Emily aside and ask her, did you tell her that Allie's alive? And it's the same envelope that the other one was of the letter, and the one that the cops have. Okay, Ezra thinks A is Allie's mom. I put no, red herring. Spencer sneaks out and is caught, and then we see that someone is in the house. I need to rewatch that ending because I couldn't see very well. I thought I saw a red coat, but I wasn't positive. I had put my glasses on, and I need new glasses, and I couldn't see that part. Like, I saw someone there, and then I saw Spencer's mom there. And but I think it was a girl in a red coat with blonde hair. I think it was Allison. Maybe Cece, who knows. Then a part of me thought maybe it was Melissa, but they seem malicious, so it could have been Hanna for all we know. But this episode is okay. I feel like they're throwing things just to confuse us even more, and I'm not allowing it to confuse me because we're so close to the finale. I feel like it went so fast, but we were having quite a few really good episodes. This episode, the black and white episode, and there's one more that I didn't really like, but most of them I really enjoyed. So that is my thoughts. So first thing, my other thing is, I think honestly Jason is involved somehow. I really do. I guess, like, hold on, because this is episode 22, right? So we have one more, and then we have I'm doing a little research while I'm on here. We have one more, and then we have the finale, which is A is for Answers. I haven't watched any previews for next week. Only the one that they showed us. But, okay, it's called Unbridled. So, that's right, the girls are wearing the wedding dresses. I like to go to Wikia, Wiki with an A, and it gives you an outline sometimes of the thing. So, if you don't want to know a spoiler, like, outline for the next episode, then shut the video off right now. Okay. Okay, hopefully you're going. So they say that it's a rough time For the liar, Spencer's reeling about the memories from her lost summer. Aria's nursing a broken heart. Emily's reeling from Paige's betrayal. And Hanna unsuccessfully attempts to wade back into the dating pool. Each girl tries to deal with her issues. They focus on their attention on the suspicions surrounding Mrs. De Laurentiis. Assuming that Mrs. D knows more about Ellie and the night she went missing, the girls decide to help her out at a charity bridal fashion show. To gain access to her house to get answers. Meanwhile, Ella, Mrs. Montgomery, and Jason return to Rosewood, each with something to hide. I think Ella secretly got married. Jason, well, I just told you, okay? There's a script of a wedding. Or maybe Ella just got engaged. There's a Wilden flashback in this episode. Ashley and Hanna have a scene together, so we'll see Hannah's mom again. Dean, Veronica, and Spencer have a scene together. There's a lot of flashbacks. Jason's back and has something to hide. Spencer will either follow or be followed by someone in the woods, and A will make changes to Spencer's gown, which we saw in the A scene at the end. It says a bridle itself is a piece of equipment for horses. It's what's used, the headgear used to control a horse. It means to be unrestrained, to literally or figuratively be free of the thing that controls and binds you. Really interesting. So the question is, who has been set free? Is it A, who has possibly abandoned all pretenses at a plan and decides to launch something at the liars? Is it Allison, who has thrown off the shackles of her fake life and gained her freedom? Or could it be the liars, who have somehow gained control over the situation, eliminating the threat of A or finding a way to control their masked bully? Totally awesome. This was filmed at the end of October, so that's just some insight into the next episode. Once again, it's wikia.com, and if you just put in the name of the episode or anything, you could even see like the outline for the finale, which I've already read. So hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.